Hi guys, I just wanted to show you as I started working on the actual inside, and I'm going to tie it in. Let's get our cover out. It should be totally dry now. Oh my goodness. See what happened? It did not stick. Remember I said I was worried about that with the other journal? This one's okay. This one did not stick. This is what happens sometimes. So when that happens, I'll show you what you need to do. Kind of a good thing it didn't happen. So remember, I need 1/4 of an inch. So it really depends on what the cover is made out of as to whether or not your glue is going to work on these magazine covers, okay? And what happens, if you want to fix that problem, is you have to take the plastic off. Let's just take that top part off. Because we want to be able to, I'm recycling here, right? So we want to be able to take this plastic, we want to be able to save these pieces and use them in our journal. So we're just going to take that top coat off. And I've been using a blade for many years. So I'm kind of got the knack for being able to push it down just enough just to take the top coat off, okay? So there we go. That will glue now. Let's use bears just because it's faster. This one I used, whoops. I used tacky glue, so this side is okay. Okay, it has to be willing to stay, but this side did not stay. So let's just take a look at our top here. So as far as I can tell, this is up, and then this is going to be up right here, okay? So let's get our glue down. I'm so glad that happened so I could show you what I meant, because I've been talking about that a few times in my journals. And how I learned that is I was watching YouTube and people were doing composite journals, and they looked so cool. It's a lot of work because you take the pages and you glue 2 pages together, but you have a composite journal with lots of pages, really nice size. But instead of buying the paper cover, I wound up buying the one with the super duper plastic cover. And I tried all of my glues and I could not get it to work. So see what I did? Actually, I should have taken this side. Oh well. Well, it's the back, okay? Just gonna get that down there. Oh, that's why. Look. I put it backwards. This is the way it's going. Good grief, girl. This is the way it's going. I almost totally made a mistake. Now I have to take the glue off this side. I've got glue on this side that I need. It dries clear anyway. sometimes you can just rub it off too. But that should work now. And remember, I extended my spine there, so let's let that dry really well. I'm going to push it over a little bit. I may have gotten onto the plastic there. This part here is perfect. See? Let's try that one more time because I got it onto the plastic. I need to stay off that plastic rim, or make that plastic rim a little bit further away, but let's just try that again since I messed up my glue by putting it on the wrong side. What happens? It happens. Just do it again. Now. And I think the problem is I've got the glue on here too. Let's just scrape that off a little bit. And you can do the same thing actually, it's just remove the paper too, and that'll take the glue off. Haphazard work here, haphazard. Let's just take this paper off. And that'll take the glue off. There we go. Now we're starting new. See if I where it's going this way yet. Just gonna lay that down, and this time I'm not gonna push it too far. I'm gonna line it up right with that black cover. If you have a little bit of white showing, that's okay, because we can fix that with black marker. I'm gonna pull it up a little bit. I think it's going in now way better. And then if you still have glue on there, I still have glue on there, use a clean. I use these so much that sometimes they're not clean anymore. I love the grunge look, I love the old look. So you will find me sandpapering everything if I get a chance. This just gives me a good excuse to do it, because it will make it look old, and then when you add that's better. So now we should have a perfect cover. Looks like it's a little bit better. I think I better let that dry again. I think it'll be okay. But let's put some of the distressing on there since I got it wrecked a little bit. Why not? I show you the reality. I don't show you that I've redone it before. and I have everything together. You're just seeing it live. There we go. I like it like that. I always forget to put the lid on those things, and then I complain that my ink is dry. All right, how are you doing over there? Use your ears. You hear that smack? You do not want to smack. Come in. There we go. Okay, so for my perfectionists, I know you're gonna hate that part, but it had to happen. It had to happen. Okay, so this is the front, okay? So let's get this up. And I wanted to show you this part. Make sure you don't have any ink on your hand. So this is going to be the journal cover. And what I meant to show you is as you're adding, let's leave this over here to dry. As you're adding pages, see how they come up. They're going to come up, and then this is going to happen here, where you've got some wide parts. Okay, so even though I decorated some of them, we need to take these wide parts out. Okay, we're just going to trim it a little bit. Got it? It just happens like that. So that you could take them out individually and you can work on it if you wanted to. I'm going to try to do it with a blade. Okay, because I want it to be kind of straight. And I've been cutting cardboard today. I wonder if I should switch that around. Maybe I should switch that around. Pretty sure I didn't switch this blade around. I was trying to work on a huge package today, and I had to cut a bunch of cardboard, so I'm a little bit worried about my blade now. Let's just put it down so we don't cut ourselves. You have a little bit of a lip, so pull it out of there. There you go. Yeah, if I flip this around, I think we'll have a sharper blade. Can you be careful with it, please, guys? There we go. Yeah, that looks like a good blade. Okay. I just got this at the hardware store because I think you need a good quality metal and you need a good quality blade. And I have some refills around here. And I do change them quite a bit because I use them a lot. I use them a lot, especially with cardboard. But like I had a job where I was stocking and I had to use a blade to open the boxes. And then all my years of crafting, I've used a blade. So unfortunately, I'm not that careful with it anymore. So try to be careful with it, okay? Alright, so let's get this lined up now. I've got a nice new blade. And we're going to push down really hard on here, on this. And we're not really pushing down that hard on the actual cutter thing. As I always say, it's almost more like the angle that you hold it is more important. So I've got all kinds of glued stuff on here that I'm cutting through. Okay. Let's flip it over. It's because I'm cutting through all of these. We almost got it. You know when you go and do something and you need all your tools and you bring them outside? That's what I did today. I brought all my tools outside. So I don't see my large ruler here. I also go through quite a few ruler scissors too, actually, and I'm so glad they're now available at the dollar store. So you can see where I'm just gonna get these cuts. We're not in a race, guys. We take our time. And flip it over. Just take little bites of it. You take like half of that part there. So they started out pretty flat, not completely flat on this edge when I started, but they are gonna shift as I get them fuller and fuller. Okay. So once you have it pretty much the way you want it, you got all the length out that you want. So now it's much more flatter. Let's get this in the garbage. Now we are going to take this edge and we're just going to sandpaper it to make it nice and smooth. Once again, we're going to take our time. It's because I think of paper and cardboard still as wood. I think that's why I like to use the sandpaper. Making your own journals by hand, that's the whole idea. Just starting with this is a very cheap dollar store notebook. And I like it because you get the lines, but you don't have any of those annoying red margin lines. Like the last journal that I did where I had to make those strips to try to cover up those a little bit. Let's get that one smoothed out there. And it's really important to use a clean one because I sometimes wind up sanding dark things and then I make my pages look dark. So the area that I'm having, this is right here, right? Get the exact ones of right here. Right here. And if I go over, it's still getting this one right here. Get the exact culprits. Ooh, I still got to save my Paris sticker there. Got pretty close to it though. Another one right there. Okay. Why did I pick a sandpaper that's the same color as my box? All right. Depends on how smooth you want it. I just want them to be the same length here. cool. Okay. Having too much fun with that. Okay, let's get this out. Now, see how our cover's doing. Should be dry. Let's, no more puckering sound. Looks nice. Just line up this way. Oops, sorry guys. So this is the front. So now it's more lined up. See that? And I think it's going to fit great in there. This is going to be a lot of fun to puncture because there's so many pages. I don't know how I decide the pages. I think I just let them come out. Pretty cool. Now, using this part, I'm going to measure. And we have 8 and 2 nibs. So 4 and 1 nib is the center. Four and 1 nib is right here. And then usually I like to either go down 1.5 or 2. So let's go down 1.5. Okay. Now on this side I need to line it up at the inch. So I'm going to move it to 8. So that's 7.5. So just take, oh, put that back. Now we've got to line this up with the top and the bottom right where we want. The gaps on the top and the bottom are going to be exactly the same. I'm not measuring that, but I've got it lined up. It's about 1/4 inch. Let's see. It's really hard to see. Ooh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Look at this. That is not the right length here. This is throwing me off. And I don't mind a raw edge, luckily. There we go. So let's check our measurements again, because I might have measured it at the wrong spot. I think those are still okay, but now we can see where we're getting it. Right in the center. Right in the center. We need these little edges to be exactly the same, okay? Then we're going to pull it in so that we can line it up with these lines, and then we're going to mark it. And now the super fun part. And get into the center here. Make sure it's all lined up. And we're going to puncture our holes. I'm assuming this is going to be hard to do because it's so thick. It'd be much harder if you don't have an awl. So this is one thing, if you are going to make your journals by scratch, and you're going to tie them, you must get an awl because it's hard to to do it without it. Okay. Try not to let the paper shift. They do shift. It's so annoying. Okay. Okay. Now, what we're going to do on here is we're going to fold it. We're going to make absolutely sure we know where our folds are on there, okay? So you can see where I put my lines, we're not even in the right place here. So I actually want to put my hole right there. Right there. We should try to do an X marks the spot there. I should have had something that I could just do a dot. Okay, so now let's just puncture those. One signature journal. Of course, you'd have to space them out if you're going to put more than one signature in. And if I did more than one signature, I probably wouldn't have needed to trim my pages, but I would have been forced to try to push 2 puncture holes in this very narrow spine, which sometimes your paper doesn't like doing that. And I made my own stand, guys, so I'll just explain that to you. What I did is I got, okay, it was back in the wine drinking days. It's buying boxes of wine. It took a while for me to get them, but anyways, those, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the sides of my stand, and then just cardboard strips from shipping books or packaging. Those are my crossboards for my shelves, and from there I was able to attach all kinds of things to my shelf. So one of the things that I have on my shelf is a small, I don't know, I think it might be cottage cheese, a small cottage cheese tin or plastic, and this is going to be hard too. This is the thicker hemp cord. Come on. Careful that you don't hurt yourself trying to pull this through. And this is where you have to support it, because you don't want to pull the spine out the cover front and back. I could have punctured my hole all in a little bit further. Come on, baby. It's because my hemp cord is thick. Come on, baby. It's coming. Taking its sweet time. You can do it. There you go. Alright. So, because I have the yogurt container glued, the top is glued so that it's an upside down cup onto my spine. Wow, look how cool that went through. Okay, let's see. That was great. So I cut holes in the side of it so that I could slip my sandpapers and things, pens, pencils and stuff into it, into the side. And then on the top I punctured a hole, and that's where I keep my awl. So that's the kind of thing that I enjoyed doing when I made my own stand. I also glued a tin can to the side and made a pin cushion, and that's where all my needles go. Then I cut some palm juice cups, the juice, those round, they have 2 round balls. Cut those in half, and I put the palm in as well, glued those in so that I have holders in the stand with the palm plastic. And then I cut some coffee tins in half. Of course I have a tin cutter for the top edge. I got way too much paper. Better that I have too much than not enough. Let's see, and then I just, so the coffee cans are glued to the sides, and that holds my blade and stuff right in thin hands reach. And then I have a couple of I think that's hot cocoa. So what we're going to do is we're just going to line this up, get this nice and straight. Got some nice cocoa tins, and cut those in half and put them in the front. Make sure you have a twine here. And those hold my brush, those brush things that you use with inks. And then I have a cardboard box that was a nice heaviness, and I glued that on, and that's what holds my small cardboards in the front within easy reach, which also holds my bone thing, and the littler cans hold my rulers. I actually used to have them hanging off little holes, or little pegs. Yeah, so all kinds of fun stuff you can do when you make your own. There you go. And once this goes under the weight, it's going to close perfectly fine. Okay, I made it extra thick. I was going to do it this wide, and then I added this extra little fold just because I knew as I'm adding all of my elements, and this is going to be called the zigzag. Everything that's going in has a border of a zigzag. I showed that in a previous video. So now I'm adding a bunch of elements, and what I decided is why not, I don't know why I grabbed that there, why not cut all my element pieces into a zigzag as well. So this is the Zig and the Zag journal in my to-do list. It's got a zigzag cut. So everything has got a zigzag, and actually these were my digital downloads from Etsy that are actually tags, but I just cut them. And I think it's going to be great. So this is what I'm going to finish doing now, is I'm going to go in and add all of my elements, okay? Hope you like that.